May we all know that nothing ain't cool till you wear the new off the sound of a quarter rolling down the jukebox.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than junior second baseman on the softball team, Cassie Grana. Cassie, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I have to ask you, how nervous are you right now? Because you were telling me you're pretty darn anxious.
I feel good, but I'm definitely nervous.
Well, let's just get you into it. We'll break you into it a little bit. It's not going to be that bad, I promise. I feel hesitant to call this a breakout year for you, but you are hitting at a career best 344 so far this season, and you've already gotten more at-bats this year than you had in your first 2 years here at Menlo combined. What have those regular reps done for your game?
Just seeing live a lot more is definitely, it makes you more comfortable as a hitter. So seeing the reps in the game, seeing live in the game, it helps me for like other at-bats in other games and other situations. But the more reps you do as any athlete for any sport, it's going to help you no matter what. So just feel comfortable with those reps.
Yeah, and one of the big moments you had last season came in the playoff win that Menlo had against San Diego Christian. You smacked a 2-run double in the bottom of the 6th inning, one of the biggest hits of the season for Menlo. What was it like to contribute in one of the biggest moments in really recent Menlo history, considering that the Oaks hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years?
Yeah, it definitely felt good to just know that like all the work that I put in, all the work that we put in as a team was paying off. And just hearing like Coach Lyle after the game saying that really changed the momentum of the game it made me proud, and it made me proud to be a part of that team for sure.
One of the benefits to being at a small school like Menlo is the ability to get experience in your field of study. And of course, you are a sports management major and one of the student workers that we have here
Yes.
in Menlo Athletics. So what do you love about that, and how did you decide to get involved?
I decided to get involved because of a friend, Ashley, that just graduated, and she told me about it. And being a sports management major, I love anything about sports and just getting involved with it. So just got involved from friends and word of mouth, and just watching and seeing how everything works is just what brought me into wanting to be a sports management major. So.
And then of course, before we started the interview here, we were talking about drama. You used to be involved in drama back in high school, so now we got to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, let's
How did that come about, and what exactly did you do?
I've always followed in siblings' footsteps, and they were in drama in 8th grade. So I just felt like that was what I had to do. And it was either drama or it was band. So we went down the drama road.
What would you have played if you were in band?
Oh, I don't even know. Like probably the triangle or something. I don't know.
Not something like the horn or the drums? Or
put me in the back so I don't have to be seen.
Actually, I think the triangle might be up near the front.
Oh, okay, well then.
You might want to reconsider that on the second thought. Let's transition a little bit over to talking about the team. The offense was stalling through the beginning of the last road trip, and you guys were shut out 3 times during a 4-game stretch. What seemed to be the problem, and how did the team handle it?
I feel like our team is very young and very new, and just adjusting from coaching staff from last year to this year and just adjusting to all of these changes, it's been difficult, and just adjusting to all the changes in the lineups. And yeah, we're handling it as a team at the moment, and making a lot of changes as a team, and yeah, just doing it together and changing the momentum and just getting back to it.
Yeah, and that of course ended after the Vanguard series when you guys came back and you split against Biola in a couple of games, ending with a walk-off loss, unfortunately, in the finale to the Eagles. What kind of confidence boost was that for you guys as a whole, knowing you had been struggling and then going down there and playing a pretty good Biola team tough for 2 games?
It was definitely a good confidence boost. It was something that we needed for sure, and just knowing that like we can hit, and like getting in that kind of slump that we were in as a team, and then going out at Biola and just getting hits and knowing that we can score was a good confidence boost for sure.
It seems like the approach of most hitters on this team is to be very aggressive, yet you guys have walked 95 times as a team. How do you find that kind of balance?
It's hard, but we focus a lot on mentality and taking one pitch at a time, so finding the balance is just like being a selective, aggressive kind of hitter, and knowing your pitch as a hitter is really important. Knowing like, you know, what to hit and what not to hit in certain situations is just a lot what the team focuses on. And you know, sometimes you walk, sometimes you get a base hit, so Yeah.
And for what it's worth, you're leading the team with 16 walks on the season, and you've been hit 4 times as well. You're kind of taking over that crown from Elena Morgan. She held that last year. I think she had about 17 hit by pitches last year. So you're not exactly on that pace, but you're kind of getting there a little bit. How's the body feeling?
The body, it's feeling good. I feel like it recovers pretty well from that, so we're good.
Good. Now, with the majority of the games on the schedule remaining being in conference play, does that change your mindset at all for what's left on the schedule?
Yeah, for sure. We obviously need to win in order to just keep going, especially in postseason. So going into conference, our mindset is just to play and win and just play softball. Yeah.
Now, the good news for you guys is that when the offense does stall, the pitching staff has been pretty darn good this year, and it's been keeping you guys in games. What can you say from a hitter standpoint about the arms of this young pitching staff?
They're incredible, and they work extremely hard, and I just know as they get older, they're just going to keep getting scarier. And we were just talking about it, a couple of us, and Victoria and Sarah, they're very young right now. Not very young, but they're young, and as they get older, they're going to be very scary, and it's really nice and really cool to watch from this perspective.
And of course, hopefully they'll be here for a few more years.
Yeah.
Sarah being a sophomore and Victoria being a freshman. William Jessup is on the schedule this weekend, and it's a big conference series for you guys, given that Menlo is 3-7 so far in GSAC play. Shelby Grafman is the ace of that Warriors pitching staff and really one of the best pitchers in all of the conference. What's the report on the Warriors, and how do you ladies think you're going to match up against them?
Well, we know that the Warriors are doing really well in conference. We haven't really focused quite yet. Tomorrow we will talk about it as a team of what exactly they have on their staff, but we're going to go in it and kind of just take away the name and just go in and play softball and just play. Like we've been focusing this week on just making changes to this team and just kind of getting back to what we know how to do and just play. Yeah.
And it's a good time of the year to do that too. Still plenty of conference games left, early enough in the schedule where you can make up plenty of ground in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
All right, let's transition over to the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answers.
All right.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Question number 1. What's the worst part about leading the team in hit by pitches?
Worst part is that it hurts, obviously, but I don't bruise very easily, so I get hit by these balls coming at me like 50, 60 miles per hour, and I don't walk away with any bruises. It's kind of lucky, but
What's the worst one you've taken?
I took one to the elbow and it kind of hit the funny bone, so I was walking down with my arm like stuck in this position for a while.
So then probably for like the whole next inning you just can't feel that arm at all because
it was
just numb.
Yeah,
Ugh, that's
shaking.
the worst. Question number 2. Which teammate would be most likely to not wear high socks during a game? I know that every single one of your players and really every single team we see, all they do is wear the high socks.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that look, but who would not wear it that way?
The only one that I could think of, I don't know why, but Morgan Zimmerman. She just strikes me as that girl.
Kind of a bit of a rebel, huh?
Yeah.
I could see it. Yeah. I could see it. Question number 3. Which cartoon character does a teammate of yours most resemble?
Oh, man. She's not going to like me after this. Regina.
Oh, boy.
Darla from Finding Nemo. I could have said something much worse, but I'll say from Finding Nemo. Regina.
Can you explain the answer a little bit?
When she had braces freshman year, she literally just looked like her. Yeah.
That is awesome. I wish I hadn't done the Regina interview yet, because then I would have tied that in somehow, some way. So Regina, we were talking today at lunch about it. I'm telling you, next year when you're interviewed on this again, look out. There's going to be some Finding Nemo questions thrown your way, thanks to Cassie Grana. Cassie, thanks so much for joining me on the show this week. Appreciate it. And fans, as a reminder, Menlo College is on the road this weekend. They travel up to Rocklin to take on the Warriors of William Jessup. That is on March 18th. It's a doubleheader starting at noon. They originally had a Friday series here in Atherton, but that has since been postponed. Menlo will return home the following weekend and have a couple of doubleheaders, one in conference on Friday and one out of conference on Saturday. Well, we invite you to tune in to next week's show. Cassie Grana will be choosing the next interviewee on Unrooted Softball Edition. I'm Brian Brownfield. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
May we all know that